Comparing client results in the month of May. How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Kyle, and on this channel we go over everything related to Walmart WFS and also Amazon FBA. So if you're interested in content like that, or you're looking to get started with us as an automation company, definitely subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on a single upload. This video is going to be a little bit more so geared towards potential onboarding clients that are looking to work with us as an automation company to completely manage their Walmart store for them. We're going to be taking a look at a couple different client results in the month of May. This actually was a requested video. Someone had left a comment down below and wanted to kind of see a difference between results from a store that's only selling a couple $1,000s and sending in a couple $1,000s for inventory versus a store that's sending in about $10,000 to $15,000 for inventory, and then anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 in inventory. So I'm going to pull up 3 separate stores that kind of fit each criteria so that you're able to see those different results on there, at different scales and different levels with us. I'm not going to waste any time. We'll jump right into my laptop and take a look at some of those results. So here we are inside of the first actual spreadsheet that we're going to be taking a look at, and we're going to start with the lower tier in terms of the amount of inventory spend getting sent in, and we'll work our way up from there. So as you can see here, like I said, I want to pull up one with a couple of $1,000s, anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 sending in for inventory. So you can see in the month of May here, this client had sent in $3,200, just roughly about $3,200 for inventory in this month, and sold through that amount here. And what we're able to see is how much they actually received in total sales. So again, if you're new to a spreadsheet like this, I can break it down and explain it really quick. This amount right here, you're going to see this is the total amount that we sold the product for on, in this case, Walmart. And what you'll see over here is the link to that listing on Walmart. Over here, you'll see the Walmart commission fees that they took. This is their profit they're taking. Over here is the WFS cost. This is the cost for them to actually ship out the individual product to the customer. And then over here is the cost of goods sold, of course, how much we paid for this individual unit. If you subtract those amounts from the amount we sold it from, it's going to give you the total amount in net profit. Again, on this spreadsheet, this isn't the client's actual take-home profit. Like you can see over here, they did earn a 32% ROI if you add up all of May. They didn't receive an actually 32% in the ROI. You have to factor in shipping, returns, and then also our profit split. Now, again, the products that we're selling, they're everyday consumables: mouthwash, toothpaste, deodorant, floss, shampoo, conditioner, products like those. So you're not getting a very high return rate. It's really right around 1% in terms of the return rate. So that's not a big cost. And then also they are small products, so the shipping costs, it's not something that's a huge cost, but there's still costs that need to be factored in. And then of course, where the biggest expense is going to come from is we do take a split from the store. Now, what package you're on does depend on what split we're taking. We do have separate packages. We have a $5,000 service fee, which gets you a 60-40 split on your store. 60% of the profits goes to the client, 40% goes to us. And then we do have a $10,000 service fee that gets you an 80-20 split. 80% goes to the client, 20% to us. So those are the differences in the breakdowns. And again, depending upon which split you're on, of course, you're going to be earning a larger percentage of this ROI right here. So overall, though, what we're able to see is this client sent in about $3,200 for cost of goods, sold that for around $5,200, and was overall left with just about over $1,000 in net profit here at a 32% ROI. And when you break this all down, they probably took home, again, if they're on the 60-40 split in this case, they probably took home closer to about a little over $500 in profit here, again, as we take 40%. But that is someone that's spending a couple of $1,000s on inventory. If we jump over to someone that's in, kind of in a medium tier per se, we can see someone that's spending a little bit over $12,000 in cost of goods sold. And again, I won't go through explaining the spreadsheet. I'll just kind of go through running you through these results really quickly to keep this video somewhat brief here. But you can see about $12,700 spent on inventory to sell through close to about $20,000 in total sales on Walmart, for about $2,500, almost $2,600 in net profit here for a 20% ROI. So again, this is something that I always like to go over on this channel and like to show the differences as well, just to show you that you're not always going to be receiving the exact same ROI as other clients, right? You're going to average out to just about the same. And again, even that, you're not going to average out to the exact same percent, but the average between all of our clients is going to be closer than individual months like this, because you can see in the month of May, we had a client get a 20% ROI, and this other client was at a 32% ROI. So you can see the difference there in the returns that you can actually get. And that all comes down to certain criteria, like if someone's sending in way more stock on a listing. When I say someone, I mean a competitor on these listings that we're selling on. If someone's sending in a bunch more stock at a price that's much cheaper than it's ever been at in the past, and like I said, with a lot of that stock, so we're not gonna wait to sell all those units. We're gonna have to compete at the price they're selling it for, which can lead to us having to sell for some lower ROIs. As you see on this sheet, we're selling for 11%, 9%, 21% in this case. So having to drop some of those ROIs and compete with that. So overall, yes, they were still positive here and had obviously a 20% ROI, but that can cause some of those lower ROIs. And then this one in particular, someone could have not restocked on that. And you see a 73% ROI on this product right here. This is a case where someone could have not restocked on that product, and that usually does restock on it. And now we were the only ones that had stock on the listing, and we can move that price to wherever we want. Obviously, we don't want to go too high because we still want those sales to come through. If you move it too high, people will stop purchasing, but you're able to capture ROIs as high as this when that happens. So that's where a little bit of that fluctuation is, but we don't know those things until we actually get the units in there and we actually begin selling through some of those. And then let's take a look at the last store here. We will see about $25,000 now spent on inventory. And we do have stores higher than this, but again, I just at least wanted to go through, like I said, a couple of thousand, a little over 10,000, and then about mid-20s here, just to kind of show you the different tiers in at least under $30,000, and what you're going to be able to see here. And so again, something that is part of the model is liquidations, and you already see that right here with these ROIs that are in red, selling for a -7, -2, -17. So there are times where we have to liquidate units as well, where someone comes in at a much cheaper price than us, that drops us to a liquidation. And that's not even to say that they're getting it for much cheaper and they're selling it for a profit. They may be liquidating the product too. But if there's a bunch of sellers on a listing with too much stock on it, it might force everybody to drop those prices and liquidate that inventory, which is what you see here on these. But overall, you see about $25,000 spent on inventory for total sales on Walmart for just under $40,000, left with about $3,800 here in net profit. So at about a 14, almost 15% ROI. Obviously, this is something that's an extremely low ROI for us and not something that we want to be getting, but it just goes to show that it's something that can happen. And because you're not just selling on one product and this person's selling on many separate products, they're still overall positive here at a 14% ROI. So while it's not the target ROI we were aiming for and we wanted, you can still see there is still profit to be had in this, because again, they were diversified again amongst multiple separate products on there. So again, just wanted to make super clear that there are times where we have to liquidate. It's just something that's part of the model. If any other automation company tells you otherwise, it's just not the case and it's not true. That's always something that's going to be a part of e-commerce, where again, someone may have dropped those prices and we're not going to tie up your capital for 2, 3, 4, 5 months at a time. It's better to take a lower ROI like this at 14% so that we can get this inventory spend back. Again, you can see this $39,000 in total product sales, and particularly this inventory cost plus the profit, so we can get that back so we can spend it on more profitable inventory. So I hope this video is helpful. I hope this kind of shows you the comparison between a couple different tiers and the amount someone's spending with us. If you have any additional questions, feel free to leave a comment down below, or definitely book a 30-minute Zoom call directly with me. We can go through any questions that you have before getting started. But again, I hope this video is helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Yeah.